Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you. I'm Neha Bhardwaj Alter and this is Game On. We wanted a dhamaka on Diwali and we got one as 5 Indian batters got 50 plus scores with 2 converting them to centuries. It was a day of some absolutely brutal hitting with records being broken and also a day when anyone in the team could go out and bowl. India got as many as 9 bowlers to bowl last night to try out their 6th bowling option if the need ever arises. Chetan Narula, he watched the 350s and the 200s from the press box of the Chinnaswamy Stadium. That must have been special, Chetan. Jamie Alter is here with us. We watched that innings together. But Chetan, how special was that to see? I mean, we spoke about it, that it was going to be one of those matches where we'll see a lot of 4s and 6s and, 100s and 50s being scored. But to think that top 5 batters, all 50 plus scores, that must have been special.
Well, yes. And first of all, let me just say that this blue on my face is not because of yesterday's win. It's because of the lighting in the room that I'm in. Combination of colors. Special game, in a way, a lot of check boxes ticked for India. I wouldn't say in terms of bowling, but especially in terms of batting. Shreyas Iyer, he's been looking good through the tournament. And, he wanted that one big score under his belt to showcase what he can really do. He had been doing that. He had been answering his critics. But there he caught a big 100. Once you get a big 100, there are no more critics. And, going into the semi-final, I don't think there'll be any questions asked about his form, or how he can play the short ball or not, or what he can actually do at that number 4 spot. And then KL Rahul getting those runs as well. He can really accelerate. We'll talk more about KL Rahul in just a bit, but those half centuries, Shubman Gill, I was talking to Jamie and I told him, Shubman Gill actually needs to pace his knocks when he knows this pitch is a bit of a belter and he can go big. But then the ball started stopping a bit on both Rohit and Virat Kohli, and that's why they couldn't go on beyond their 50s. But yeah, there was stunned silence when Virat Kohli got out, but Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul making sure that everybody got their Paisa Vasool. And the real Paisa Vasool moment came in the evening when Kohli ko bowling do, and they gave the bowling, and he took a wicket, which was. Yeah. It was absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, what are you talking about? You weren't satisfied with India's bowling options. Come on. 9 bowlers having been tried yesterday with Virat Kohli, the wrong-footed in-swing menace who got a wicket, and the celebration that followed. Rohit Sharma wrapped up Netherlands' innings with that last wicket. We got to see just about everything. It's a different thing that will they get bowlers like Virat Kohli, Suryakumar Yadav, Shubman Gill or Rohit Sharma against New Zealand? I don't think that'll happen. But what we saw was a complete performance from this Indian team that we've become used to seeing, Jamie, in this World Cup. And it was only right that for a team that has dominated in such a way to end the league stage with that kind of performance. 160 runs is what they beat Netherlands by. Feel sorry for Netherlands, but yesterday it was just them being completely annihilated by this in-form Indian team, right?
Absolutely. I think we should give some credit to Netherlands for keeping India on the park for 48 overs. I personally didn't see that. I don't think Chetan would have seen that. Yeah. We know it's the Chinnaswamy where there's absolutely nothing in the wicket. It's not Wankhede. There's no ocean, no sea around. There's absolutely nothing in it for the bowlers. But that said, I was really surprised that it took India 48 overs to dismiss the Netherlands. Good for the Netherlands, leaving their fans, and how good are their fans? The camera kept panning to their fans, their supporters, the family, the friends. There was the former keeper. There was Tim Dilly. They were all there. it's good to see them. Yes, their team hasn't reached the highs they did against South Africa or Bangladesh, but it's important that they made a statement. And I believe keeping this Indian team, whose bowlers have been outstanding, that's a massive achievement. And you sort of saw. I mean, I don't want to read too much into it, but थोड़ा हल्के में लिया कल इंडियन टीम ने not because I'm not even going into Surya Kumar Yadav and Gill bowling. That's I understand that, but the way that Mohammad Shami was jogging in, you knew that Shami was not. Yes, I'm all for the decision to play the same team, but looking at Mohammad Shami jog in yesterday, you just knew they were not taking this very seriously at all.
Yeah, no, you could make that out, definitely. And maybe that's the other reason why that they stayed that long, because you didn't see Indian bowling attacks sort of firing in as we've seen against some of the other teams. But yes, it was indeed a Diwali to remember for fans of Team India, as the pre-tournament favourites completed the group stage with a 100% winning record after defeating Netherlands by 160 runs. Having chosen to bat first, India made 410 for 4. Just 3 runs short of their World Cup's best score. That was against Bermuda in 2007, and then made it 9 wins in a row. There was no anticipated 50th ODI century for Virat Kohli, but Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul, they reached 3 figures while putting on 208 to put the result out of Netherlands' reach. Iyer scored his first World Cup century and a career best 128 off just 94 deliveries. And then KL Rahul followed him to his own century of just 62 balls, which is the fastest by an Indian batter at a World Cup. This came after Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill and Virat Kohli each scored contrasting 50s. The Dutch did well to keep India on the field for almost 48 overs while making 250, during which time Rohit bowled Kohli, Gill, Suryakumar Yadav and himself. Much to his own and Bengaluru crowd's delight, Kohli picked up his first ODI wicket since 2014 and Rohit ended the match in his first over that he bowled since 2016. Mohammad Siraj, Jasprit Bumrah, Kuldeep Yadav and Ravindra Jadeja took 2 wickets each. The manner in which, though, India batted just goes on to show how strong this team has been. Chetan, just before this game, we were talking about India's middle order. We were talking about KL Rahul not having done much after that first game against Australia in Chennai. In the next 6 innings, he hadn't crossed 40. What a day to come back and score 100, especially in the manner he did, fastest 100 in a World Cup by an Indian. How special was that?
Well, it was special for him, obviously, because he was playing at his home ground and he hasn't had too many opportunities to play at his home ground since he left RCB. A lot of venues in India, so international cricket doesn't return to Chinnaswamy quite a lot these days. So, yeah, good opportunity for him to score those runs. He bats at a particular position where he's not going to get many opportunities to make hundreds. At number 5, unless your top order has completely collapsed, you're not going to have an opportunity to make tall scores. And we saw that in the Asia Cup, and then we saw that in the first game against Australia, a top order collapse, allowing him to come in and have a lot of batting time in the middle. So it's about how he utilizes that batting time, and he's been in great nick ever since he's come back from injury. I think the bedrock for the freedom with which this Indian batting has played is down to the form that KL Rahul has shown. Maybe not so much Shreyas Iyer because he didn't have those many opportunities, but especially KL Rahul, the kind of form that he has shown ever since he came back from injury. And now let me just also add this. I have been of the firm belief that KL Rahul, if he bats in the middle order across formats, forget opening. I know he's an opener. He's made a career out of opening in tests and T20s, probably not as successful as he would have liked to be. But if he was a middle order batsman across formats for India, he would be a far more successful batsman because he tries to set up the game when he's opening the innings, especially when in tests or in T20s, especially in T20s. He's not good at that. What he's good at is reading the situation and then playing with a free mind, identifying what needs to be done in the situation. He's far, far better at that. If he bats for LSG at number 4, one IPL season, he's going to win them the tournament. He's that effective in the middle order. So there's a lot of cricket left in his career still. If he can be an all-format middle-order batsman, he's going to do absolutely wonderfully, and that is my personal belief, having seen him bat.
Okay,
not
so
just yesterday.
Okay.
I mean, over a period of time.
I'm gonna take that question to Jamie as well, but just before that, not to be left behind here, KL Rahul, he scored his first century of the tournament after finishing off India's chase on October 8th versus Australia with 97 not out. Rahul had not crossed 40 in 6 innings. All that changed at his home ground yesterday. While Iyer reached 3 figures in 84 balls, KL Rahul needed just 62 balls for his century, getting there with 2 sixes in the final over that took India past 400. That gave him the fastest World Cup 100 for an Indian batter and proved why he remains the best asset for Team India when batting in the middle order. In 40 ODI innings in the middle order, KL Rahul has scored 1,646 runs at an average of 56.75 with 400s and 1050s, striking at almost 95. See, there's a point there. What Chetan is saying, there is a point and a valid point, specifically at number 5. Just look at how good his numbers are. Now, he averages just shy of 55 and at a strike rate of 98.81 with 2 centuries and 8 half centuries. Now, compare this to his ODI career as an opener. From 23 innings, Rahul has an average of 43 and a strike rate of 79 with 3 centuries and 8 half centuries. So, clearly, he is best suited to bat in that middle order. And now, the question being, should he be batting in the middle order in all 3 formats? Jamie?
Test cricket, if they go back to him, 100%. T20s, I will maintain you don't need KL Rahul right now. Only because your T20 team has to, this is just my view, has to have the maximum players under the age of 30. And just for that criteria, he doesn't fit. And I think he's been given a long enough rope. I agree with Chetan. Perhaps they wasted too much time getting him to open across 3 formats. But look, T20, we've seen it is India's weakest format, just to my mind.
Yeah.
And I don't think you need him. You've got to get the Jaiswals, the Gaikwads, the Gills, whoever is under 28 and doing well consistently across the IPL, you need to play him. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, but what are you going to gain by playing KL Rahul at 31, 32 in T20s? Get him to keep wickets if you have to until Rishabh Pant comes back. Utilize him in the 2 formats where I believe he stands to do much, much better than T20s. Let him, like Chetan said, that's a very valid point. Let his T20I career stay with the IPL. Let him taste success. Let him drive that team. There's a reason Lucknow paid him an undisclosed amount of money. He's your marquee player. He's your icon player. Don't let him keep wickets in the IPL. Try him in the middle order. I've been saying this many, many times. He was doing Suryakumar Yadav level things before we saw the full range of Sky. Yes, they came as a top order batsman, but somewhere along the way, he had a rough time. He sort of switched off mentally. He had injuries. But we're seeing what he can do. You don't need him in the T20 setup at all. You do need him in one days. You should persist with him in Test cricket. Just please, for God's sake, don't make him a leader in that team. That's just, again, I feel sorry for him when they make him vice captain and captain. Yeah. Whatever 5 years maximum that KL Rahul has to serve Indian cricket, I believe it should be in the one-day format first off, and then Test cricket, because this Test cricket is going through a transition phase. You've got a bona fide player who can do well, but like Chetan said, make sure his remainder of his Test career is in the middle order.
The other thing being that he looks like a complete player, and which we got to see yesterday as well, in the way he paced the innings, the way he got to his 100, he took enough deliveries to get to his 50, but raced to his 100 in the next 20 deliveries. And some of the shots that he played were incredible to watch. But now let's talk about Virat Kohli, the bowler, Rohit Sharma, the bowler. Why is it that India needed to bowl 4 part-timers on a day when, their regular bowlers could have got them the wicket? But like Jamie said, were they trying to take it a little bit easy, or were they trying to figure out their bowling options? And are these the serious bowling options for the 6th bowler for this Indian team? Well, Rohit Sharma, the captain and the bowler from yesterday who got a wicket, says that it is something always in our mind. When you have 5 bowlers, you want to create options within the team. This is what Rohit Sharma has said about why so many bowlers were tried yesterday. Today we had 9 options. It's important. This was the game where we could have tried certain things. The seamers going out there and bowling wide Yorkers when it was not needed. But we wanted to do that as a team, as a bowling unit. We wanted to try and do something different and see what we can achieve. This is what he said. Rahul Dravid as well. He's spoken about bowlers rising to the occasion. Not particularly about the part-timers, but he's saying we've always built the squad keeping in mind that we need 6 bowling options and kind of build the depth of the squad. Obviously, Hardik was an important part of that puzzle in the sense that he gave you that balance. But once we lost him, I just think the way the guys have responded, yes, we have only 5 bowling options, but each and every one of them is performing really well and bowling really well. And I think that gives Rohit a lot of confidence as well. Then he talks about Virat Kohli. He says, yes, he did take a wicket as well after 9 years, so give him some credit. This was when he was asked about this wrong-footed in-swing menace that they have in the team, which is what Rahul Dravid had called Virat Kohli before. So yes, the fact that India had to use those many options, was that just because, you know, they of course had the luxury to, or is there a serious thought behind that, Jamie? That, you know, you need that 6th bowler on a day when either a bowler gets injured. We just hope and we pray that never happens. But if that happens, then you'll need another bowler, or if a bowler is having an off day. Is that what they're preparing for? Is that the right way? Because can a Virat Kohli or a Rohit Sharma really be your 6th bowling option?
Okay, so first issue is it's a genuine concern. I mean, we've all expressed concern over if that day comes when one of the bowlers has to either leave the field for some time momentarily, hopefully not for a longer time, or if someone's getting spanked. Who is India's 6th bowler? It's a genuine concern. Were they using this match to prepare for that? I would like to say yes. But again, look at Rohit Sharma's comments. Today we had 9 bowlers. No, sir, you've had 9 bowlers in every single match you played in the World Cup. If you're counting yourself, Virat Kohli, Shubman Gill, and Suryakumar Yadav as bowlers, right? Hardik Pandya was there before. I'm adding on Suryakumar Yadav as a bowler because you yourself, Rohit Sharma, have chosen to put him in the bowling category now that he's playing in the absence of Rohit Sharma. I have no doubt that they used this match because it was Diwali, because they were 8-0, and it was the Netherlands. If this was a genuine concern, they would have tried this earlier. Why they've not, Maya, had to try this earlier? Because like you said, the bowlers have been doing an outstanding job. Mohammad Shami leaves the field. Yes, you needed someone to come on. He had no need to try on Shubman Gill and Suryakumar Yadav. He could have gone back to any of his bowlers. There were plenty of overs left from the 2 spinners. He didn't have to go to. I get the fact you need to identify 1. You did not need to identify 4. So the third 3, himself included, that was just for the crowds. Chetan was there. He'll tell you the fans wanted something different. This was just them taking it very easy. You do not suddenly, on the doorstep of the semi-finals, start trying out 4 different bowlers. You need 1. We all know who that 1 bowler is going to be. It's going to be Virat Kohli, purely because he has the volume of wickets. Okay, it's been 9 years, but until 9 years ago, he was proving you a wicket-taking option. Shubman Gill is never going to be that option. Suryakumar Yadav is never going to be that option. Rohit Sharma, to my mind, should have been that option more than Virat Kohli 8-9 years ago when you were trying to look for a part-time bowler. It didn't happen. No point going back. I just don't feel that they're going to try this against New Zealand if someone gets spanked or if someone gets out. They might, like yesterday, if somebody has to bowl 3-4 deliveries of an over, if someone hobbles off, then you go to Virat Kohli. But you're never going to go to Rohit, Sky, or Gill. What was the need beyond just playing to the gallery for doing it yesterday? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, people just wanted to have a little bit of fun. Chinnaswamy crowd just wanted to see Virat Kohli bowl. And Chetan was there, and I know he's going to disagree with this idea of getting Virat Kohli to bowl. One, because, and which is a serious concern, is in case he gets injured because his action's not the best. And we don't want to, have someone like Virat Kohli injured. So that's a serious concern, and rightfully so. But Chetan, I've got to ask you about what it's like being there at that stadium to watch Virat Kohli do his Virat Kohli things. You know what I mean? In the way he is egging the crowd on to cheer, or he's, you know, caught dancing to what the DJ is playing, to when he comes in to bowl, and then when he gets a wicket, the celebration with his wife Anushka Sharma in the stands, celebrating in that same way that Virat Kohli does, in that aggressive manner. What is it like for the fans and for someone like you, a journalist watching it from the press box, to see this Virat Kohli phenomenon?
You know, we call him King Kohli. I'll take both your questions. Obviously, I'll talk about the bowling as well, but let's just talk about the Virat Kohli phenomenon first. You know, we call him King Kohli, but you know, what is a king unless you know what his domain is, right? I mean, he's King Kohli because he scores those runs and everything, but a king needs to have a domain. You know, like I said yesterday in the show, this is a ground which is his adoptive home ground. He's played all his format of cricket in Delhi, but he doesn't play a lot in Delhi now unless RCB is playing in Delhi or there's an India game in Delhi. So this is his home ground for all purposes, where he plays a lot of his cricket in the year whenever he does play in India. So, you know, a few moments, I'll recount those few moments. First of all, when he walked out to bat, you know, Shubman Gill got out. A second later, people realized, okay, now it's Virat Kohli's time. They didn't really care that Shubman Gill got out. He walked in, and you know, it's just so noisy, but there's a different feeling to that noise, because this is somebody, one of their own, who's walking out. It's not just Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli walks out to bat to cheers everywhere, but this is Chinnaswamy. So there's something different. I can't really put a finger. There's something different to that noise. Then he bats and he's scoring and he's hitting those boundaries. All is fine. The bowling, Kohli ko bowling though, that's the new chant. He comes on and he bowls, and he takes a wicket of that wide ball. It should have been a wide ball, but he takes a wicket, and again all hell breaks loose. Chinnaswamy goes mad, and he's clearly enjoying the moment. He's interacting with his wife, who's sitting in the stands, and she's also applauding, and they're having a moment. You know, he took his wicket in the second over, but in the first over he came close, and after the over he was gesticulating to her ki tali to baja de kam se kam, you know, a clapping to kar de, you know, because she was shown on the big screen and she was just watching. So he was like, you know, clap for me. And there was this moment when he was on the boundary and they were all shouting RCB, RCB, which is obviously the connect he had. What I'm trying to say is, you know, you want to understand the true meaning of the word King Kohli, you need to go watch him play at the Chinnaswamy, because if he's a king, that's his kingdom, that's his domain. And that's the feeling I got yesterday. It was surreal. And I do plan to come back next year in the IPL. I don't know how many IPLs he's going to play, but at least I'm trying to come back next year and watch an IPL game, RCB playing at Chinnaswamy. I don't care which team they're playing, because it's going to be all about Virat Kohli. He rules Chinnaswamy. He owns Chinnaswamy. You know, they should give him the lock and key to Chinnaswamy. That's his kingdom. Now let's come to the bowling bit. You know, Jamie's right that, you know, they didn't really need to use so many bowlers. You don't need Rohit Sharma, you don't need Suryakumar Yadav, you don't need Shubman Gill to bowl really. Out of the four bowlers, the only one who's actually a decent bowling option is Virat Kohli. You know, with his dibbly-dobbly medium pace, in swinging deliveries. The problem with that is how reliable is it? Because it's not been tried and tested. I was there in 2014 in New Zealand when he took his last wicket. He got Brendan McCullum out. I think that was Hamilton. I'm not sure whether it was Hamilton or Auckland, but I think it was Hamilton. In 2014 January, I was there in New Zealand when I saw him take a wicket. And now 9.5 years later, again in Bengaluru, he took a wicket. So it's not like he's a very consistent bowler, and that was a thought in my mind as well, that this guy is playing with a slip disc. He's playing with a slip disc. And there was this one moment when they played a straight drive down the ground and he put his foot out, just like Hardik Pandya. And then he pulled his foot in at the last moment. And I was like, what are you doing? You know, you're bowling, but you don't have to risk your body. You don't have to put your body on the line in a complete manner. So yesterday, it was a plan to try out these combinations. Shami, Bumrah did not bowl at full swings, did not bowl at full tilt. They were bowling wide outside the off stump. They were bowling wide Yorkers, wide fuller deliveries. They were trying something different. They were not aiming at the stumps. They were not doing that. It was a proper ploy to bring in these extra bowlers, to give them a bowl and see how many bowlers can be bowled, who can prove to be more effective. Virat Kohli is the only viable option. How viable? It's anybody's guess. But if you have to rely on Rohit and Sky and Shubman Gill, the match is gone. The game is gone. So Virat Kohli is the only viable option you have. Not more than 3 overs. And even then, it would be a bad day for at least 2 bowlers that you're calling Virat Kohli to bowl at the Wankhede or in Ahmedabad. The 6th bowler thing is going to be a bother if India gets attacked. So it's about those 5 bowlers and how they perform. It's not a reliable option by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they were just doing this more because, you know, they could afford to do it. They'd scored 410 and they were up against a team like Netherlands, which was clearly struggling. Now, Rohit Sharma, he has been an incredible captain for this team. And a lot of credit should go to him in the way that he's given starts to this team and also the way he has captained this side, the way he has rotated the bowlers. Ravi Shastri just said, I think yesterday he said that this was the best in the way he's gone about his captaincy, and that if India end up winning the World Cup, the credit has to go to Rohit Sharma in the way he has led his team, and also how selfless he's been in the way he's given starts, hasn't really gone around looking for milestones, hasn't really tried to get 100. He just gives a quick start, which is what the team needs, and more often than not gives everybody else the luxury of coming out and playing the cricket that they do eventually. So he says that very, very pleased with how we played in these 9 games. This is what Rohit Sharma said. He says very clinical from game 1 till today. That's only because different individuals have stepped up at different points in time. This is a good sign for a team when everyone wants to take responsibility and get the job done for the team. Although we play in India a lot of cricket, we know the conditions, but when you play, and this is an important one, when you play different oppositions, that's the challenge. And this team with Rohit Sharma at its helm has taken up that challenge and have done extremely well. So that is Rohit Sharma talking about how everyone's taking responsibility. And talking about everyone taking responsibility, we've got to talk about Shreyas Iyer now. 3rd innings in which he's played an incredible knock. 3rd match of all of us who are watching Shreyas Iyer. They will remember that press conference from last week when he was asked about his short ball problems. He asked the person who posed the question, what problem was that? And how the said person had perceived that to be a problem. It was a very curt reply, if you remember. And then he stated that the journalist must not have seen the shots that Iyer played to those short pitch deliveries. Now, whether or not you believe that Iyer's overcome his weakness, the fact is that after a lean run in the World Cup, during which he was out to short deliveries 3 times in a row, he has scored 82, 77 and 128 not out in a row to sit at the 8th position on the tournament's run table. With 421 at an average of 70 and a strike rate of 106. Iyer remains one of the best players of spin in this 11, if not the best, and his ability to convert into innings of substance on these home conditions are plain to see. This hot streak has reinforced why Team India has so much faith in Iyer when he was out of action for so long, and why he has deservedly been given that number 4 spot at this World Cup. And he's actually been exceptional at that position, Jamie. To think that here is somebody, and you compare him to the number 4s that India have had in the past, you know, where they've tried and they've had problems with their number 4. He has been the most consistent in recent times, and he's just taken it a level further with that kind of a performance in this World Cup. 3 big knocks back to back.
Look, he's come a long way from that horrible shot he played back on October 8th when a rush of blood got to him and he played a terrible shot for a duck. and it was his wicket, if I'm not mistaken, that left India 2 down for 3 wickets. At that point, everyone said, "Okay, look, here we go." I remember the next day, people were tagging me in comments and saying, "Is it time to move him out? Should Ishan Kishan play?" And I said, "No. There's a reason, like discussed on this show many, many times, that he's walking here." Then he got a couple of good cameos. Then his form trailed off, and 4 times he got out playing the short ball. And I said on one of these shows, I said, "Look, if he doesn't sort this problem out, and he keeps getting out between 15 and 25 to these short ball issues, then yes, he might not last the duration of this World Cup." What he's done is he's backed the team's faith. Yes, there's an Ishan Kishan there, but once Hardik Pandya went out, the team had to keep on persisting with him. Very, very good to see that 82, that 77, and that 128 not out is. What this has done is, like we discussed earlier on the show, it's kept everyone who's got a problem with him, it's kept them quiet. Have the short ball problems gone away? Absolutely not. Will he have to work on that? Absolutely he will. But right now, it's all about the World Cup. It's all about what each specific player does. Rohit Sharma, as your team put up in that comment, said everyone is shouldering the responsibility. And Shreyas Iyer has been doing, overall, when you're in the top 10 run getters, forget about the ups and downs, forget about that duck, forget about the aborted starts. You're in the top 10. That means you've done something good. Look at his strike rate. Very, very good. And for me, the most impressive part was, unlike his past hundreds, he didn't really slow down once he got to 80. I think he went, if I'm not mistaken, he went from 84, 85 to his 100 in about 12, 13 deliveries. Slow by the standards of where he finished, but not anywhere near as slow as we've seen Shreyas Iyer go. I think he got a 6 and a 4 in his last 15 runs before the 100. So it showed that he was not willing to this time get bogged down. He could have. I mean, like we discussed, this was Diwali, this was Netherlands. He could have took himself, and got to 100 in a more measured manner. He didn't choose to do it. For me, small signs like that indicate where he's come from that golden duck against Australia way back on October 8th.
And this is exactly what Rahul Dravid has said, that what gives him the confidence as India look ahead to the semi-finals against New Zealand at the Wankhede Stadium. He says just the way that the middle order has batted means that I'd like to believe our lower order can contribute if needed. But just knowing that we've got 7 top quality batsmen makes a big difference as well. So we've had to go to probably what is plan B for us without Hardik Pandya. But just the way we responded and the way we played in the last 5 games has been fantastic. It gives us a lot of confidence going into the semi-final. And why not? This has been the conversation that all of us have had before this World Cup began. India's middle order, will they be able to score runs? Even when the World Cup was on, in the first couple of games, we said, you're getting the starts, but your middle order, your lower middle order, that hasn't been tested. What happens when India gets the openers early? What will they do? Or the top order early? Here we are now, sitting at the end of that league stage, saying that your top 7 are firing, your bowlers are doing well. There is absolutely no loophole that one can think of right now, except that maybe that 6th bowling option. That's probably the only thing. But guys, let's also talk a little bit more about Rohit Sharma. I know every match, in the post-match review, we talk about how good he's been for this team. So your thoughts, Chetan, especially in the way he's gone about giving some of those press conferences and the post-match interviews, you can make out that he's relaxed, he's chilled out. And also, I think constantly, in every second press conference, he's spoken about ye pressure to rehta hai, but you just have to take it in your stride. I feel like that's one of the things, if India goes on to win this World Cup, that'll be one of the things that he's handled the best, being a captain of a team, of this Indian team when they are the hosts.
I've mentioned this before on the show that, my mind always goes back to 2011, trying to see how India were doing back then, how the captain was handling the pressure. And you had somebody like an MS Dhoni, who was, again, not susceptible to pressure. You could not put him under pressure. Just he's the Iceman. He was so cool. And he had these analogies. And I remember Dhoni was not in the best of form, in that particular tournament. There was always a question mark on his form. He was not batting enough. And then in the final, he did what he did. So, Rohit Sharma is on a different track in that sense because he scored a lot of runs. He scored 500 runs in this tournament, and he scored them in a very effective and a very selfless manner because he's taken onto himself that he's going to give you fast starts. If he's going to score runs, if he gets a start, he's not going to score at 80 or 100. He's not going to anchor the innings. He's going to smash it. He's going to get you 100. He's going to hit you at a strike rate of 150 in the first 10 overs at least. So that's been his efficacy, if I can say so, in the power play. When you see him in this captaincy role in terms of, talking and not taking pressure, it reminds me a bit of Dhoni, but in a little more effective way because Dhoni was always very shielded. He would not bring out his persona in front of the media people. I think Rohit brings out his persona. This is how Rohit is. This is how he behaves. Doesn't take that, matlab load nahi lene ka, that kind of a thing. So in that Mumbai language. So he doesn't take that pressure, but he knows and he understands that there is pressure, and he understands what it means to play and win a World Cup in India. To have the opportunity of winning a World Cup home. Not a lot of captains got that opportunity. Kapil Dev, Azharuddin, MS Dhoni, and then obviously Rohit Sharma. So MS Dhoni did it. Nobody else has done it. There has been nobody who's been able to win that cup on home soil. I mean, Kapil Dev already had won it, but he had the opportunity to do it again 4 years later. Mohammad Azharuddin came close, 96 semi-finals. But to do that, to be aware of that pressure, aware of that opportunity, I think Rohit Sharma is very aware, but he's not making it very, very obvious out there in the public. Within the dressing room, it's a different story. They are all enjoying the games. They're all enjoying this winning run, but they're very aware of the situation they are in, the opportunity they have, especially given India's record in the ICC tournaments in recent times. So this is an opportunity to break that duck, get that trophy, and make us all proud.
Yeah, I was just watching, I was just looking at this most runs in this tournament, right? And why you say, like you said, selfless. We've been talking about this, Rohit Sharma, and how selfless he's been. In the top 20 batters, run getters, top 5 though, he is, in fact, top 20, other than Glenn Maxwell, who is higher than him in strike rate. He is the best batter. When it comes to strike rate, he's striking at 121, and in the top 5, he is the best. Look at all the others, right? Virat Kohli is striking at 88. He's the top run getter with 594 runs. Quinton de Kock, 109. That's his strike rate. Rachin Ravindra, 108. Rohit Sharma is striking at 121.49. And the list goes on. And the only batters I can see in that list, Jamie, who are striking better than Rohit Sharma are Glenn Maxwell and Heinrich Klaasen. That just tells you how he's taken on this mantle of giving India that quick start, match after match. And yet, despite doing that, he is one of the top scorers. It's incredible.
Let's just take forward the word that Chetan just used, awareness. This is, to my mind, the perfect word. It's not a word that is being attached now to Rohit Sharma. He himself spoke about all through 2022, Meha. He spoke about awareness, game is changing, but he was not able to walk the talk, right? He said all these same things in the build-up to the Asia Cup. It didn't happen. He said all the same things in the build-up to the T20 World Cup. It didn't happen. Finally, in the tournament, in the ICC tournament, which to me, despite the obvious problems with the format, is the one tournament that still, heart of hearts, most international cricketers would want to win. It is the One-Day World Cup. I'm so glad, so relieved that finally that awareness is not just seeped into Rohit Sharma's batting. It's like Chetan said, it's having an effect on everyone else who gets into the playing 11, right? He is just 91 runs shy of Virat Kohli, but he's not getting in the wider domain the credit, right? Because he's gone. I've said this many times. He's broken. Meha, we need to understand when I say he's broken the template that got him 3 one day double hundreds,
Yeah,
That template was after 10 overs, India's score would often be 45, not even 50. But what Rohit Sharma's genius was, after 35 overs, he'd get to
yeah.
132, 33 by those standards. But in the last 15 overs, he would be able to get himself to 250, 264 is his highest score. This is not that Rohit Sharma. This is a Rohit Sharma who knows this is the last throw of the dice. I have been here. History. Chetan keeps saying how pivotal 2011 was. It was also pivotal for him. He has been able to absorb the pressure. He's got 24 sixes. Maxwell and Klassen are bigger six hitters. They're nowhere near Rohit Sharma, and he's doing this as an opener. Yes, there is obviously the advantage of a slightly harder ball. There's the advantage of power play restrictions. But you still may have to go out and do something.
No, Jamie, but Quinton de Kock has a harder ball to strike with. So does Rachin Ravindra. So,
but they do not have the genuine belief that we're going to win this World Cup. That man does. Why are India the best performing team inside the power play? It's not because of Shubman Gill. It's because of Rohit Sharma. He's been playing for 13, 14 years. He doesn't have to do what he's doing. But he's saying team first, team first, team first, and he's doing this. Why are his 503 runs not being talked about as much as Virat Kohli's 594?
Well said, well said. I'm looking at this and it's incredible. And you are right about the new ball, but I feel like, there are other openers in that. David Warner, he's striking at 105. I'm talking about all the top run scorers there, whereas Rohit Sharma, the only one, like I said, who's striking below Glenn Maxwell and Henrik Klassen. This has been incredible, and I also feel that this rubs off on the others, who are playing in this as a team, as a unit. They would look at Rohit Sharma, the captain, and the batter, and clearly would say that, if Rohit Sharma didn't care about the strike rate, and if he cared about getting to 100, he would get to 100. There have been occasions where you would say that he could have got to a milestone, but he hasn't gone that way. And I feel like that rubs off on the others in how you want to be selfless in trying to get the team to win or trying to get the team to a winning position. Chetan, you wanted to add something to that?
Yeah, just to what you asked. I mean, I think I wanted to add in that sense only that it rubs off in the sense that he's doing his job. He's taken up a role, he's taken up a challenge that he's going to give you great stars. He's going to give you fast stars. The reason why he has such a strike rate, and mind you, he's the only opener with that strike rate. Maxwell and Henrik Klassen are not openers.
Exactly.
Only Travis Head has a higher strike rate than him, but Travis Head came middle of the tournament, and he had that one knock.
Exactly.
He's not done anything after that one knock. So if you're looking at 9 games, a very consistent 9 games, it's only Rohit Sharma who's scored at that clip. No other opener in the World Cup. Who's batted 9 innings or 8 innings, has played all 9 matches up to him in terms of strike rate. So the rest of the team perhaps gets inspired. I would not say in a selfless way, because I've seen them so close. No, not in a selfless way, but definitely in a way that you do the job that has been given to you. You perform the role that has been given to you. And I think Jamie is absolutely right. Why aren't people talking more about Rohit Sharma? It's an absolute travesty. Absolute travesty. Yes, Virat Kohli scored those runs. Kudos to him. KL Rahul's got those runs. Shreyas Iyer. I mean, nobody's even talking about their runs as much. It's all about Virat Kohli at the moment. And obviously, he's a star. He's a king. There's no doubt about it. He is the quintessential star in this Indian team. There's just no doubt about it. But Rohit Sharma, even if he's the second star, he is still a star. And the kind of role that he's performed, in the manner he's performed, needs a little more, talking points or,
I think a lot more people need to talk about him. Guys, we're running out of time. It's time for predictions.
Right. Okay. I have one.
What is... So
I just want to make a point very quickly.
We're out of time. How many points will you make? You made enough points. It's 13:44. I want to make a point saying I'm having withdrawal symptoms since this World Cup started. It's the first day that we don't have a match. I'm wondering what happened to the toss. I'm wondering what's the playing 11 for the teams. Nothing. It's almost like since 1:30 I've just been like, अच्छा toss नहीं हो रहा है, आज तक कुछ भी नहीं होगा.
Or you're just missing our wrong predictions.
Which is also true.
Let's continue this at 6 o'clock if possible.
Yes, we
will. It's a good topic.
We will. I think it's a good topic, and I also feel like, yes, it is time because of what he has done. And Chetan, what you were talking about, nobody will see this because you've seen this team from close quarters, that they'll look at him as selfless. My thing is, the respect increases. There is no doubt about it. When you're playing for the team, there is no way people will not respect you more for it. It's just as simple as that. So I feel like that must have happened, and we're out of time. So I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you so much, Chetan and Jamie, for joining us here. 6 o'clock is when we are back with lots more to discuss. The takeaways from the league stage, you know, the 4 semi-finalists. What are we expecting? There's so much over the next couple of days before the semi-finals that we'll do a lot more analysis from this World Cup. So do join us today at 6. And of course, tomorrow onwards will be 1 and 6 as well. For now, that's it from us. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.
Delhi has the fastest growing